Hey guys, this is Rachel with Cypress Textiles, and today we're going to make the Venice Square from the 2020 VVCAL. I am using for this sample a color crafter, Shape Just Color Crafter in number 1316 and a 4 1/4 millimeter hook. So I've started with a slip knot and I'm going to chain 3 and I'm going to slip stitch into the third chain from the hook. Of course, as always, you can chain 4 here or however many you prefer, or you can do a magic ring as well for the center. And then just straight into that center ring, we're going to make what I call beginning DC. So this is going to be a single crochet and a chain 1. So when you go into that center ring, you don't need to chain up or anything because in my patterns, I don't chain up for a single crochet. So just do single crochet, chain 1, and that's going to be the first DC of the round. Now chain 3 for the corner, and then we're going to make a repeat of that chain 3 and then 3 double crochet. And we're going to work that 4 times total, just omitting the final double crochet because that is our beginning DC, and I'll show you that in just a second. So just this is like the center of a granny square here. So just chain 3, 3 double crochet, and then chain 3, 3 double crochet, 4 times total. Just making sure to leave off that final DC when you get back to the beginning. Okay, so I'm back to the beginning now, and I just want to show you what I mean. See, I only have 2 double crochet here as my last part of the repeat because the third one is going to be that beginning DC that we made. So now just go ahead and slip stitch into the chain of your beginning DC. And whenever you make that slip stitch, make sure it's not super tight so it goes over the top of your beginning DC stitch. All right, so for the next round, you're gonna slip stitch into the first chain and go into the chain, not into the chain space with that slip stitch. And then you're gonna make a beginning DC in that same chain space. So just single crochet, chain 1, and then chain 3 for the corner, and then 2 double crochet into this chain space. All right, so you did your 3 chain corner and then 2 double crochet. Now you're going to make a DC into this first DC stitch here, and then chain 1, skip this middle DC, and then DC in the next stitch. All right, so now you've got a little eyelet there. Now just make your corner 2 DC, chain 3, 2 DC. And that's how your repeat is going to be. Your next move is going to be to do your DC, chain 1, skip 1, DC here. So this is how the side looks so far, and we're going to work that way all the way back to the beginning. Okay, so I am back to the beginning. And I went ahead and did 1 DC in that first corner to complete it. So now my first corner has these 2 DC here, a chain 3, and 2 DC. And then we're going to go ahead and slip stitch into the beginning DC to close the round. All right, so now we're going to start round 3, and we're going to slip stitch into the first chain and make a beginning DC in the chain space, just like before. Chain 3, and then 2 double crochet in the same chain space. All right, and then in the next 2 DC, we're gonna go ahead and work a DC. So in the next 2 DC, make a double. There we go. And then chain 1 and skip this DC right here. DC in the chain space. Chain 1, skip 1 again, and DC in the next 2 stitches. All right, now we're up to our corner. So we're gonna have 2 DC, chain 3, 2 DC. Okay, and now we're at our repeat. So my next move is gonna be to work DC into these 2 stitches, chain 1, DC in the space, chain 1, skip 1, DC in these 2 stitches, and I'll show you how the side looks. So you're going to work that way around until you're back to the beginning. So here's how the square is looking so far, and I've got my DC in the first corner here, and that's just to complete that first corner just like on the previous round. So I've got one DC in this first corner, and now I'm ready to slip stitch into the beginning DC. There we go. And now for the next one, we're going to go ahead and slip stitch into the first chain, just like before, and make a beginning DC in the chain space, chain 3, and 2 DC in that same chain space. Okay, just like we've been doing the previous corners. And now we're going to DC in the next 2 stitches, chain 1, skip 1, and then we're going to DC into these next 5 stitches slash spaces here. So you skipped this one, and now we're going to make 5 DC. 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so there's how those 5 DC look. Now chain 1, skip 1, DC in the next 2 stitches, and now you're at your corner. 2 DC, chain 3, 2 DC. I'll show you what that side looks like so you can continue that repeat. Here you go. Okay, that's how the side looks. So repeat that around till you're back to the beginning. So as before, I've got my last double crochet in the first corner here, and I'm going to slip stitch into my beginning DC, and our next round is going to be a half double crochet round. So slip stitch into the first chain, and then make, and for me, a beginning DC and a beginning HDC is just the same thing because it really just stands up to the height of the stitch next to it. So if it's a DC, it stands taller, and if it's a HDC, it just stands as the height of the HDC. So just make a single crochet and a chain 1. That's why in these directions, the beginning DC is the same as the beginning HDC. And then chain 3 for the corner. And then 2 half double crochet in the chain space. All right, and then you're just gonna make half double crochet in all of the stitches and chains across. So you see my half doubles going there. And when you get to the corners, you're just gonna make 2 half doubles, chain 3, 2 half doubles. All right, so this is a pretty easy round. I'll just back up and show you. Just make sure that you make 2 HDC, chain 3, 2 HDC when you get to the corners. Okay, so I'm back to the beginning. I added my HDC in the first corner to complete it, and I went ahead and joined into my beginning HDC, the chain. And now we're gonna work our final round. So we're just gonna make 3 singles in the corner, and then single crochet in all the stitches across and all the way around. So I'm just gonna show you something though. When you work into a half double crochet, this right here is the top of this half double crochet. So when you work into it, it seems like it's that this would be the top of it, but actually when you look at this half double, the top is this part right here. So you have to kind of work into that as if it were a chain sort of, and that's how you're gonna work the first single crochet of the side here. So you work your 3 singles and then work into that first half double. You can see that, and then this is your second half double. Okay, so when you work all the way across, once you're working into these here before your next corner, this is the top of this half double right here. All right, so just be careful when you work into your half doubles, and it would never hurt to make sure you count your single crochet. You should have 88 singles all the way around, 22 per side. So just count, double check, and I guess okay, so this is a fun little square. If you just want to make up a bunch of squares for a blanket, a really simple blanket, but just have that little extra detail with the eyelets. So this is the Venice Square from the 2020 Crochet Along, and if you want to see all the rest of these squares, you can go to cypresstextiles.net, and I've got all the squares up there so far. Other than that, I will see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.